Hey guys, what is up? It's Blaney P here from Team Rewind doing another profile for London Players Guild. Today I'm going to be going through the Gallantmon deck profile someone requested last week and a few other requests I've had for it. Or Dukemon, whatever your preference is. Hopefully I sound a lot better this week. Got a new mic since I sounded like I was underwater. So let's get through the profile. Starting off with the babies, we've got Digimon. I think that's how you say it. With the inheritable, your turn. If your opponent has 5 or more cards in their trash, this Digimon gets 1000 DP. I feel like this is the better baby to go for in this list if you want to keep the flavour. I did try and go all the way up the Gallantmon chain, since that's what people wanted. And then I'm running a one-of Greymon, as I feel like he's a lot less restrictive. You're not counting on your opponent having trash in. You just need to get up to a mega, and then you'll be meeting the requirements for it, which gets you 1000 DP. I suppose they both have perks, with the Digimon being able to get you the 1000 DP at Champion Ultimate later in the game when your opponent has more trash. Going into the rookies, definitely run this in red. I'm running it as a free of. When played, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck, add one tamer card from amongst them to your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. Really helps try and find your tie to guarantee you free energy a turn. Really important, so I'm running that as a free of. Up next is Gallantmon, which is inheritable, your turn. If your opponent has 5 or more cards in their trash, this Digimon gets 1k. So again, stack that with the Digimon, and then you're getting 2k extra a turn. Up next is Agamon, which is just a flat out your turn. This Digimon gets 1000 DP. I'd argue he's better than Gallantmon because he's got no requirement, but it's the flavour of the deck in it. So late game, they're basically the same. Up next, the final rookie is Biomon. She's just a cheap vanilla. Play her out for cost 2. It's really good if your opponent doesn't have the +3 energy tamer, so that you can try and cheat them to on 1 energy. Just something to play out rather than giving them their 3 or over that. Just helps you malnutrition them. Up next is Growlmon, which inheritable. When attacking, destroy one of your opponent's Digimon with 2000 DP or less. So this helps you fill up your trash, which is one of the aims of the deck, because that's what Gallantmon runs off, which I'll go over later. But yeah. Up next is your blockers, self-explanatory. The -2 memory when attacking, and it has block. So just there to try and protect your security, buy you some time if you're not drawing where you need to draw. Up next, we've got another vanilla, Dark Tyrannoman. Really great, cost 1 to evolve to a champion. Can't get much better than that. He's 6k beat stick as well, so you can apply pressure with him. If you've got a Gallantmon on him or an Agumon, when he attacks, he's a 7k beat stick. If you've got the baby on him as well, you can get him as an 8k beat stick, swinging for energy 1. Can really help you push the game forward if you're having a bad time. That's why I run 3 of them. Just helps you get up them chains faster. Up next is Greymon, which is a cost 2 to evolve. So same as most champions. With the inheritable security attack +1. Really good. Up next, I run a one of Skull Greymon. This is just to deal with black mainly. Get rid of them megas with the blocker, because it's when played, destroy one of your opponent's Digimon with blocker. So he's just there to clear them if you're struggling to get through them. Them cheeky blocker reboots. I run a one of Metal Greymon as well, just because I like it. Which is security attack +2, and the inheritable, this Digimon gets 3k. It is -5 memory to attack with him. But if you're having a bit of a bad game and you're behind a bit, it can be really worth it to get him out and swing. If you've got the right situation on board, you can clear 3 or 4 security if you've gone up the Greymon chain. And then you've got the Digimon and that, and he's adding up to 11k. He can be like a mega, clearing out 4 security to really turn the game to your advantage. Up next is Gallantmon. Again, more flavour of the deck. When digivolved, if you have a red tamer, destroy one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. Again, just helping try and make them trash numbers up for you. And inheritable, if your opponent has 5 or more cards in their trash, this Digimon gets 1000 DP. So again, more DP stacking again. Can end up having a 14k swing, knowing that they're safe, because nothing's going to clear them out in the security, other than maybe an option card. Up next, I run a free of. Was it free of? Yep, free of Metal Greymon, which is inheritable. Your turn. When this Digimon is blocked, get +3 memory. This is really good on the Greymon that I'm going to go over in a minute. Because when you swing in with it and he's doing security attack 4 or 5, you can use it as a bait swing, knowing that they're going to use the blocker on it, and give you another 3 memory for your turn, which lets you extend your plays and you can take game that way instead. You know, if you've got a champion out, so you swing with your mega, get the 3 memory back, you're able to evolve in the one of Metal Greymon that I covered, and then swing in with that and wipe the security that way anyway. So the Greymon, which is when digivolved, this Digimon gets security attack +1 until the end of your turn. And your turn, when this Digimon security check reveals an option card, that card's security effect does not activate, which is where you know that your opponent's going to use most of the blockers they have on the field to defend from this, because they know their option cards in security are useless. And he's 11k, but if you've got your Evo chain right, he can be 13, and he can be doing security attacks 3, 4, 5, depending on how many tamers are on the field. So he's really good for getting up and just swinging in and doing mass damage. Up next, the main guy in the deck, which is Gallantmon, which is when digivolved, if you have a red tamer, destroy one of your opponent's Digimon with 6000 DP or less, so he can clear out champions and below. And when attacking, for every 10 cards in your opponent's trash, discard one of your opponent's security. He can be really good as a game ender, because if your opponent's on 1 security and you swing in, they discard that, and then he goes in for the kill. And yeah, so if you've got him out as well, and he's got the Greymon on the chain, you know, he can have security attack +1, plus discard. So he can clear 3 security that way. Gaining the 1Ks off the Gallantmon, the Digimon, the Gallantmon. You know, he can be a 14k swinger. And yeah, he's pretty much the flavour of the deck that everyone asks for. I don't think he's the best mega option to go for in red, but if you enjoy him, play him. It's the point of card games at the end of the day. I do think the Greymon would probably be better at 4 and the Gallantmon at 2 if you just want to keep Gallantmon in the deck, but it is a fun deck to play. Up next I've got Omnimon, because why not? If you're running red, why not run him as a 2 of? Just as a nice option there, which is when digivolve, destroy one of your opponent's Digimon and all of your opponent's Digimon with the same name as that Digimon. So he's really good at just clearing out a big threat for you. And then you've got a 15k swinger on your board that can attack twice, because by returning a level 6 Digimon from this Digimon's Digivolution sources to your hand, this Digimon becomes active. So he's really good at applying pressure or forcing your opponent to pay a large amount of energy to use an option card to get rid of him. it can be really difficult to clear a 15k body because there's not too much in the game that does that at the moment. Up next is Free of Terraforce, because why not? Costs 8, but you can destroy any of your opponent's Digimon. Only one of them. But, as I just said about Omnimon, you can get rid of that. You can get rid of anything. And it adds cards to your trash, which feeds Gallantmon's ability. Sorry, I stuttered a bit there. And then finally, you have Tai Kamiya. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. But, start your turn. If your memory is 2 or less, it becomes free. Your turn. All your red Digimon with 4 or more Digivolution sources get Security Attack +1. Which again is how I said it stacks up with the War Greymon. And he can be doing 3-4 security checks in a turn. Just off the one swing. Which if you got him stacked up right, it's going to be pretty hard to kill him off. And the same for your Gallantmon really. Just creates that mass pressure. And that's about it for the video. If you've got any requests for any more videos, put them in the comments, like, subscribe, and all that other stuff. See you next week, guys. Thanks for tuning in.